The United States is ripe with amazing cities to live in and travel to, but some of them better to avoid because they're dangerous. The word dangerous can be somewhat subjective, depending on the person. However, the amount of violent crime, murder, rape, armed robbery, aggravated assault, etc. in an area is an accurate determinant of how objectively dangerous an area is. Stay tuned and you will see our list of the most dangerous cities in America 2020. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Encircled by mountains and settled along the Tennessee River, Chattanooga more than satisfies its official moniker of beautiful city. In any case, those hoping to investigate nature in Chattanooga should notice the city's high vicious crime percentage. While crimes were low, the city experienced 783 instances of exasperated ambush per 100,000 individuals in 2018, more than triple the national normal. Fortunately, nearby specialists are finding a way to address the issue. In excess of 30 observation cameras have been introduced over the city in the course of the most recent 3 years to help increment open security in Chattanooga's most risky zones. Nashville, Tennessee. With its superb unrecorded music scene and a stunning choice of bars and cafes, it's nothing unexpected that Nashville is one of the most well-known traveler goals in the U.S. Be that as it may, what you won't find on your run-of-the-mill rundown of best activities in Nashville are the city's wrongdoing insights, which are quite disturbing. In all honesty, Nashville's vicious crime percentage is more than triple the national normal, with irritated ambushes driving the way. Truth be told, the city's Metro Police revealed that exacerbated ambushes were up 23% in 2019, which proposes things might be deteriorating in Nashville. In any case, this doesn't mean you should drop your excursion to Music City, USA. For whatever length of time that you play it safe and maintain a strategic distance from Nashville's most risky spots, there's no explanation that you can't securely take in the Grand Ole Opry. New Orleans, Louisiana. The home of Creole cuisine and Mardi Gras, New Orleans is one of the most unique cities in the United States. But while the city has benefited greatly from redevelopment efforts in the wake of Hurricane Katrina's mass devastation, crime continues to be a major issue in the Big Easy. Homicides are especially high in New Orleans, with the city's homicide rate 37 per 100,000 people, ranking 5th highest among mid to large-size American cities. Fortunately, the 141 homicides New Orleans saw in 2018 were actually the lowest total since 1971, and that downward trend has continued in 2019. So things might be looking up for Louisiana's most populous city. Indianapolis, Indiana. Home to the Pacers and Colts, Indianapolis is likewise where you'll locate the world's biggest kids gallery and one of the biggest secretly supported zoos in the nation. The city is a financial center for the province of Indiana and flaunts a jobless rate lower than the national normal. Sadly, Indianapolis's fierce crime percentage makes it the most risky city in the state, with detest wrongdoings and gun brutality specifically standing apart as torment focuses. Fortunately, Indianapolis has made extraordinary walks in handling its gun issues as of late. There are presently a few intercession programs set up, including gun buyback occasions intended to get guns off the roads. Oakland, California. For a considerable length of time, Oakland has battled to break liberated from its notoriety for being a risky city. Shockingly, measurements, just assistance bolster the truth of Oakland being one of the most perilous spots to live in California. While the city's fierce crime percentage went down a piece in 2018, it, despite everything, sits almost multiple times the national normal. The theft rate in Oakland, 610 occurrences for each 100,000 individuals, is particularly concerning, trailing just Baltimore as the most elevated in the nation. There's motivation to be hopeful about wrongdoing anticipation in Oakland, however. The city's police division presently utilizes an innovative program created and close by Silicon Valley called Law Enforcement Analysis Portal to help gather and break down a lot of wrongdoing information. Anchorage, Alaska. Home to more than 41% of Alaska's entire population, Anchorage is an important northern economic center that boasts spectacular views. 6 different mountain ranges make up its skyline. Sadly, along with being the most northern capital city in the U.S., Anchorage holds the unfortunate distinction of being the country's sexual assault capital. With 210 reported sexual assaults for every 100,000 people, Anchorage has the highest rate of any U.S. city with a population of at least 100,000. The reasons for this are complex, but it's not just Anchorage suffering from violent crimes. Alaska as a whole is considered the most dangerous state for women, with 59% of women who live there having experienced violence. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Although it never had to deal with a drug kingpin named Heisenberg, the real-life Albuquerque, New Mexico, has crime problems of its own. Incidents of sexual assault and homicide are more than double the national average, while aggravated assaults are 3 times as common. The fact that Albuquerque accounts for half of all crime in New Mexico, while only being home to a quarter of the state's population, prompted the city's mayor Tim Keller to ask for state help. We'll have to wait until the FBI releases its 2020 data to see if the situation in Albuquerque improves. Stockton, California. With a violent crime rate of 1,399 incidents per 100,000 people, Stockton ranks as California's most dangerous city and the 10th most dangerous in the country. Home to the oldest university in California, the University of the Pacific, Stockton has a rich history, being one of the hubs of the 19th century gold rush. Unfortunately, the 2008 financial crisis hit Stockton especially hard in 2012. It became the largest city in U.S. history to file for bankruptcy protection. Detroit would surpass it the following year. Despite exiting bankruptcy in 2013, job opportunities in Stockton remain slim, with 6.9% of the city's labor force unemployed in 2018. Kansas City, Missouri. The biggest question most people have about Kansas City is, why isn't it in Kansas? But the question we really should be asking is, why is the city so violent? After all, poverty isn't a major problem in Kansas City, and its unemployment rate is actually lower than the national average. And yet, violent crime is out of control in Kansas City, with the city on course to see a record number of homicides in 2019. A 4-year wave of firearm violence has left Kansas City grasping for solutions. However, firearm violence is a problem across Missouri as a whole, meaning KC will likely have to wait for a solution to be found at the state level. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland is a city obsessed with preservation. Nearly 1/3 of the city's buildings are designated as historic, more than any other U.S. city. Unfortunately, recent history is something the city's residents likely want to forget, as Baltimore continues to rank as one of the country's most dangerous places. With 309 recorded homicides in 2018, Baltimore is easily one of the most violent and dangerous major cities in America. The city's homicide rate of 51 per 100,000 only trails St. Louis, while the robbery rate of 837 incidents per 100,000 people is the highest in the country. According to the New York Times, violent crime has spiked since the infamous passing of Freddie Gray in 2015, and is showing no signs of getting better anytime soon. Memphis, Tennessee. With a violent crime rate of 1,943 incidents per 100,000 people, Memphis, Tennessee ranks as the most dangerous city in America's South. One could argue that violence is just as much a part of Memphis's identity as blues music and barbecue. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis in 1968, and since the Civil Rights Movement, the city has become ground zero for some of the worst firearm violence in the country. In fact, the majority of the city's 186 homicides last year were firearm-related. Recently, U.S. Attorney General William Barr unveiled a new plan to reduce firearm violence in Memphis, Project Guardian, so hopefully, Memphis will start to see some relief in the coming years. Michigan. The Motor City just can't get a break. While most major U.S. urban communities keep on developing, Detroit has seen one of the steepest populous decays in the course of the last 50 years. At its pinnacle, the city was home to 1.8 million individuals during the 1950s. Be that as it may, the decrease assembling employments has driven the populace to under 700,000 today. The city's enormous joblessness and neediness rates, 9% and 37.9% individually, sum to a city with the most elevated rough crime percentage in the nation. Today, huge areas of Detroit lie relinquished, a living token to the city's decay. Sadly, until Detroit's open organization starts acting responsibly and starts pulling in business and financial development, its status as America's most risky city will just proceed. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and push that notification button to be the first who will see new awesome videos.